Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Human Training Your Dog is Begging You For podcast. If you are needing help understanding your dog and their crazy wacko behaviors, you've come to the right place. I'm Charles Countryman, co-founder of Canine Culture Dog Training here in the Dallas, Texas area. And as always, joined by my wife, Laura, co-founder of Canine Culture. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
And senior trainer and head of dog evaluations, Wyatt. Good morning.
Good morning.
Right, guys. So today we're going to be talking about how someone can help their dog be more fulfilled, more occupied in their home. Less destructive, less zoomies, less crazy. And I guess we should approach it from, are you home with your dog or are you not? So we should probably approach it from both.
Oh, yeah.
Or did you get a breed that matches your lifestyle?
That's
We can go through
part two, but if they are... So I guess we'll start with that one.
Oh.
So if you got a breed of dog that doesn't quite match your lifestyle, then you need to accept that. That's
change your lifestyle.
And you're going to have to modify your lifestyle a bit to help your dog be fulfilled, because you cannot expect your average normal border collie to be content in an apartment with no physical activity.
Or mental activity. They are the smartest dogs out there.
They are problem solvers, and they are a working dog breed. And that would go for the most part. I mean, there's an exception to every rule of thumb. But that would be, pretty standard, I would guess, with every working dog.
Mm-hmm.
Malinois, German Shepherds, Border Collies, healers.
Most like stick up ear breeds, the ear stick up, typically rule of thumb, they typically have more drive, more of a working
higher
breed.
Drive. Yeah.
Hunting dogs.
Special
real hunting dogs, like the Weimaraners, the
pointers,
the pointers. You can get a lab. And if you get a low drive lab, they're a wonderful house. They don't really need much.
Especially if it's an English lab. They're actually bred to be more calm.
Retrievers.
But if you're getting
pointers.
If you can get a pretty energetic Labrador retriever.
Oh,
but,
you just need
an English lab is a lot lower drive.
You just need, if you're going to get a dog that's in like the AKC, like the hunting category, whatever, find the breeder that's doing low drive, because they know. A good breeder will know. They'll get a puppy that matches your level. But if you get a beagle or any coonhound, they are going to bay. That is
their
DNA.
Vocal.
Their DNA is
DNA bred to make noise.
Yes,
like huskies and Malinois.
Don't get angry and upset with them because they bark and bay a lot. That's what they do. That's literally what they're bred to do.
And I would plan on getting, if you get a puppy like that, plan on getting the worst crazy version of that breed, and maybe you'll get lucky and you won't get that.
Yeah.
Like you might get a husky that doesn't yell all the time at everything, but you could. So you should plan accordingly when you're getting a puppy.
You probably will.
Will get that.
So I guess if you found out, oh my God, I got way too much dog for me, then you made a 15-year-ish commitment when you got the dog. So give a several month commitment to finding them a perfect home.
Yeah.
That is the right mix for their personality. Don't just take them to the shelter.
And if you get a mixed breed and they may look like X dog, but in their DNA, they're a Y dog, you might get that coming out more than you think. You might get a dog that looks like a lab, but they have beagle in them somewhere and they do the baying so sometimes you don't know.
And that's typically why the purebred dogs cost so much, is consistency. Usually, you don't always get it, but even then, your odds of getting what the breeder thinks you're going to get is a lot better. With mixes like doodles or just your standard rescue or
mutt dog,
mutt dogs, mix, you don't really know. You really don't.
But if you don't know, DNA, do a DNA test on through Embark.
It's really
not that expensive. It's fairly inexpensive, actually, and they're pretty accurate. Now, Google all those breeds, and you'll go, oh, yeah, my dog does do that.
Yeah.
So it's not that you have a bad dog. The genes are wired to do some of the behaviors you're seeing.
And make your life so much easier.
And, because once you understand why they do certain things, then it is. It's easier to be understanding. It's easier to work around it or plan for it.
Yeah.
Or so, I guess we started off with what I didn't even think we were going to talk about.
Oh, sorry. Well, I felt like that was like the base underlying issue.
Because you should always Google the breed to make sure they're a good fit for your lifestyle.
I think that's common sense. It's not.
It's not.
It happens
Well,
all the
the
time.
problem is, especially if you go, people go to a shelter. This dog's so cute, and you feel so sorry for him. You want to rescue him, and you don't stop and think, wait a minute, is this dog? Am I really the right person for this dog?
Yeah.
Not, is this dog right for me? Am I right for this dog? Sometimes that's just not the case.
And we get a lot of Aussies, Australian Shepherds, which actually, they're so pretty. They're harder than I think Border Collies because they're not as smart as Border Collies, but they have that drive.
I think they are.
Well, because they use their teeth to move the cattle or the sheep. Border Collies use their body movement. So sometimes they're more nippier. It's just...
It's different flavor.
They perform their job a little bit differently. Yeah. One of the trouble with herding breeds is they don't necessarily need the person. So yes, they work in tandem with their person, but once they know their job, they kind of end up a bit independent. They're like, all right, I know what I got to do. I'm going to go do it. And you're like, no, come. He thinks he knows what he's doing. He doesn't need your input anymore.
It's like the difference between a retriever and a pointer. Pointers are little chase dogs. You tell them where to go and they're gone. They're chasing the thing. Your retriever, they wait to tell you to do everything. That's why Black Lab retrievers are a lot easier than Black Lab pointers.
Right.
And then they have, I don't even know how we got in this conversation, but then you have your Pyrenees, which is a guardian, not a guardian dog, but it's a sheep guard or animal guarding, and they are very independent dogs.
Yeah, very independent.
So they're really hard.
Yeah, because they never go home. They just go live with the flock.
They're really cool dogs, but they should probably not live in an apartment in Dallas.
Yeah, and it's surprising that
we have a lot of them.
Yeah, Great Pyrenees are one breed that we deal a lot more than other breeds in human aggressiveness because they are a guardian type dog and independent.
Yeah.
Very independent.
Yeah.
By DNA.
So just keep that in mind when you get a new doggy.
Okay, so that was a little rabbit trail. Now you're back in your house or your apartment, and the person is going, how do I help my dog calm down, be more fulfilled, be just chill?
So if you're with them. So let's go back to that.
So let's go back. We've got our dog, and what can we do to help occupy our dog's mind while we're home?
I would, again, not going on a rabbit trail, but depending on what kind of breed you have, like if you have a herding dog, you can get toys specifically for herding dogs. You can do different activities.
So a jolly ball would be a great idea for a herding dog because they can herd the ball around.
Yep. A retriever, fetch. Good Lord, they're like born knowing how to fetch.
Most
love it. Usually,
and most
a lot
of cattle dogs like fetch. Herding dogs
because they use their mouth a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of bully breeds like tug a lot. That is
a lot of protection breeds.
Breeds like tug
because they like to bite. They
like to bite and pull.
That's why their head and neck is so big.
So and
even little dogs, people don't think Chihuahuas are hunting dogs.
Oh yeah,
little Pekingese.
Terriers. Oh my God.
Oh yes, Pekingese.
Rat terriers.
Even what was Sadie? Your Sadie that
a Bichon.
Those were bred at one time to be hunting.
Well, every breed at one time was.
Not every.
Some were just bred to be on your lap.
Most every breed was bred to do a job at some point.
Yeah.
Knowing the breed can help you do that, but with some mutts, you'll never really know. You just gotta figure out what your dog likes and then use that for playtime. Obviously, obedience training does help a lot with the mental fulfillment.
It does.
Puzzles can work, but they're more like a short-term solution.
Right.
I know my husky pet, once he figures out a puzzle, he's going to do it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's no longer that challenging.
Pretty short-lived after that. Yeah. Puzzles are cool, but like you said, they're
once they figure it out.
Yeah, it's not going to occupy their mind that long. They're going to solve it. They're going to get their treats, and then they're done.
Yep.
Yeah. We're talking 5 minutes.
Maybe.
Once they figure it out.
Frozen treats, so good.
But I would go with frozen treats.
Yeah.
So you can, freeze some treats in an ice cube tray, or you can get Westpaw, U.S. company in Montana, makes a Toppl, Toppl. It's for moderate chewer dogs. It's not designed to be a chew toy, but it is pretty darn durable. And you can stuff it with different things, wet dog food, yogurt, pumpkin, and then freeze it and give it to the dog. It'll take them half hour to 45 minutes to lick it all out. And that's a great one for when you're home or when you leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
Occupy their mind for a while. And the action of licking at the bottom of the Westpaw, specifically the Toppl toy, or it's actually a puzzle, not a toy. It's like a bowl. It's got some flanges. Those flanges are by design, so when the dog gets to the bottom, they're licking those flanges as they're trying to get whatever's in there out. The activity of licking their tongue across that is massaging their tongue, and it stimulates endorphins.
And it gets serotonin in it too, which is the calming.
Yes. So it actually creates a natural chemical in their brain to help calm them. So they make that one to do that.
Licky mats.
Licky mats, and that one is just that licky pad or licky mat. There's two different. They're the same thing. They've just got a whole bunch of ridges. You can stick that to the front of your dishwasher and smear some peanut butter on it, or some Greek yogurt, or just something. Let them lick it.
You can always freeze that as well.
Yeah, and you could freeze that. Aquapaw's got something similar to the licky mat, but it's deeper, so you can load it up with a little bit more and then freeze it. Yeah. The other licky mats don't freeze well because it's pretty thin, and it'd crack and just everything would kind of fall off. But the Aquapaw, it's called an Aquapaw Slow Treater. Same thing, suction pads, stick it to a wall, shower if you're afraid they'll make a mess.
We also have big feeding bowls that at the bottom of it has looks like a U stuck to the bottom is a licky mat.
And so it's got ridges.
Yeah, so you could put some wet food on there, put their kibble on top, so when they get done eating, they'll be able to stimulate their little tongue.
Yeah, and the same thing, they're stimulating that tongue. So things, that people, the dog, not people, that the dog can run their tongue along as they're cleaning up and eating and treating themselves. It's going to stimulate a calming effect.
Yes, serotonin is the main good.
Then there's, toy stuffers.
Yeah.
So Starmark has a treat dispensing chew ball. Cool. It's kind of cool, and you can kind of adjust it to, if it's not letting treats out enough, you just break a little piece off, and so it can disperse treats a little faster. That one's pretty cool. Starmark. Up Dog has a treat dispenser called the Odin, and it can dispense treats in lots of different areas, and it's pretty durable. Then Westpaw has two different treat dispensers. One is called the Quizzle, Q-W-I-Z-L, the Quizzle, and that is for tough chewers. That way, after they get it done, they don't destroy it, most likely. It's very durable. And then Westpaw also carries a thing called a Rumble for moderate chewers, and same thing, treat dispenser. So there's a lot of different treat dispensing things that you can do. The key is know what your dog's severity of chewing is. Are they light chewer, moderate chewer, aggressive chewer? Get the appropriate thing. Most treat dispenser toys are not designed to be literally chewed on for an hour. They will eventually destroy it. So that's something that you kind of want to have monitored unless your dog is pretty good about not destroying it.
I would say, though, that chew ball, the green one, that thing
Starmark
is pretty hard to... Pickles destroys things, and that thing lived for a very long time.
And it doesn't seem as durable. That is true.
And he loves it because all the really indestructible balls are solid, so they can't give him. But that one, I think it's because it's big enough.
I think that might be because it is
chunk it enough.
Can't quite get his whole mouth on it, maybe.
But that one is pretty good.
It's pretty good sized. Yeah.
It lived in my office for a hot minute. I think someone got took into your guys' house or something, but it didn't die.
At our house, we don't have those.
So that's a Starmark chew ball. Yep.
So you got to remember, though, we have our Lincoln, who's a Mal. He destroys everything. It does not matter what it says on it. So.
Yes, eventually it will.
And that's knowing your dog. That's what our Malinois does. He just thinks if we hand him a toy, it's meant for him to destroy.
Yeah. That's a DNA thing.
It irritates us because we know our other 2 dogs would like that toy down on the ground so they could play with it, but we got to pick it up because he'll go rip it to pieces. And our other 2 dogs look at him like, what are you doing, man?
We also have in our scent den, it's a ball, dispenses stuff, but it also makes a noise like a dead rabbit or something. It's irritating.
Yeah.
But dogs like it. If they like the noise, they try to kill the noise and the food comes out. It's amazing. I don't know what I don't know what the name of it is. And I don't know if we have those, but it's in the scent den. It's kind of cool.
There's also a pineapple.
Oh, yeah. The pineapple thing.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of ridges on the outside, similar to, the texture that you would expect a pineapple to have. So it kind of massages their mouth and their tongue while they're chomping on it to get.
I would say you would want to find something that has a lot of ridges, a lot of gaps, so you can smear like peanut butter or yogurt or something in there. But then once they're done, you can put it in a dishwasher because it's going to be gross.
All of these toys that we mentioned are dishwashers.
Yeah, and you're not going to clean it all by hand. You just do it in the dishwasher. It's too many ridges.
And if you get like Nylabones, we're going to talk about Nylabones at all?
In a sec. So let's stay on one more. There's another stuffer. Treat dispenser that's made by Kong. Kong has several versions.
Yeah.
A couple of the Kongs that look like a pine cone type of thing, they're extremely hard to clean. That's why I don't like them.
Yeah.
You can put them in the dishwasher. Yeah. But the problem is they're a bit frustrating to your dog because so it's not calming them that much. It can cause a lot of frustration because they can't get what's in there with their tongue.
It's the same problem with a lot of the traditional Kongs.
That's what we're talking,
The tube is too long.
Yeah. They just can't get it out. And then you got to wash it. That's some nasty crap in there.
Yeah.
Westpaw, that's why I like the Westpaw.
That's why I like Westpaw.
And the Westpaw, if you get a medium or a small, then you get the larger medium, the bigger one will go on top. So it will
you can make another puzzle out of it.
Yeah, you can make a puzzle so they get it. Yeah. They're kind of cool.
So talking about treat style or toy things,
right?
Would bones fall into that category? Like marrow bones, stuff like that?
Nylabone type of things. There's a lot of versions of Nylabones now.
Well, Nylabones are just pure chews. I'm talking about like it actually has meat or the marrow.
In it. From the thing. You could also use snuffle mats.
Snuffle mats. I forgot to mention that. Yeah,
there's a lot. Those are really cool.
Feed part of your dog's food in a snuffle mat or their entire meal. Let them really work to get a couple they'll spend half an hour
especially if you have
breakfast.
A dog that just inhales its food like mine. He will full mouthful swallowing like till he pukes.
With a snuffle mat they are working one piece at a time.
And you want to put your food in the snuffle mat, then shake it around, shake it a bunch. That's why a lot of them will close, so you can just put food in there and shake it. So it all gets into the bottom, all the fibers or whatever it is.
And then you just throw that in the washing machine every now and again and clean it.
Clean it.
Yep. Easy to clean. Snuffle mats are awesome. Especially for a very active dog. Dogs work for their food in the wild. It's okay to have your dog work for a meal at least in your home.
You could also do scattering. If you live not in an apartment, if you live in a house, you have a backyard, you could throw their food in your yard, and then they will have to find their food.
Yeah.
And that is, dogs love that, especially if you're a breed that is a...
But if you live in an apartment and don't have a yard, you could do the same in your home.
Yep.
Or you could
You're just going to have to sweep afterwards because you're throwing it around
actively
your house.
hide dog food or
dogs
treats.
love it.
So now they're seeking and sniffing and exploring, and that's very fulfilling because in the wild, that's how they find food. And that's why in the wild, most animals are fulfilled because they are satisfying that seeking.
And that one's really fun for us too because you get to watch your dog and you progressively have to hide it harder and harder.
Yeah, the first if you've never done that, it's kind of cool watching your dog problem solve it. And the first couple times you do it, you'll kind of make it easy. But little by little, like you said, you're going to make it harder and harder. Now you're going to start thinking, God, where can I hide this next? Or how can I hide this and make it really challenging for my dog?
I did it with Pickles, and it was as simple as putting a treat under a cot or his ball under one of these cots we have.
Right.
And he would at first sit there and whine, and then he'd move the cot a little bit, and then he'd pick it up, but then he was so afraid of the cot falling on him, but he finally figured out how to get it.
Yeah.
And now he can get stuff under cots by just pushing it out of the way.
Now he knows how to move it.
And doing a lot of all this stuff, getting your dog's mind working, will make your dog, all his activities you don't want him to do in the house, the barking, the
whining,
the frantic behavior,
scratching the door.
It will slowly disappear. Because he is now working his brain. He's more fulfilled as an animal.
And you're teaching him how to occupy himself. You're giving him skills to do stuff.
Yeah, you're giving the ADHD kid positive outlets, not letting them come up with their own, which are probably bad.
Yeah, which is good. Most dogs, if you watch them, they do almost nothing most of the time.
Most dogs sleep all day, just like cats.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, but the little time they're up, you want to occupy their brain.
Yeah.
So they're more fulfilled.
And then you mentioned it, Wyatt, obedience. People might think, well, why is sit, come, and stay important to help my dog calm down the house? It's not about obeying. It's about teaching them a language, and it's about teaching them structure. Structure is what obedience really is. It's structure. These are things that you know how to do, I know how to do. And like our structure for human, Monday through Friday, we go to work. We typically leave at X. We typically come home at X. On the weekends, we have freedom. So that's how I look at obedience. Obedience is Monday through Friday. So now you can handle your weekend freedoms a lot more responsibly.
Yeah, you're not being a teenager, getting drunk, being crazy.
I know most people haven't, but like in the military, you could take a whole month off of leave. And about 2 weeks in, you are losing your mind.
Yeah.
And you're getting paid. So you're not worried about it. But good Lord, I'm so bored. Out of my mind. I need something. I want to go back. I know a lot of people that would quit early and go back to work.
I never took a month off in the Army. Because of that, it was like, now 14 days, that's plenty. I like 10 days.
Well, we had use it or lose it. And it was, we came back from a 9-month deployment, you use it.
Another good tip is if you live in a house, apartment would be hard to do this. You do not play rough in your house with your dog.
Right. No rough house in the house.
Outside is where you go do crazy stuff.
Inside,
calm.
It's like grandma's house.
Yes.
It's calm. You can play with your dog. Just don't rough house and get all crazy.
Our house is crazy and I'm grandma.
Yeah.
So we need to beat all the children. No, I didn't say that.
The problem with that method is you have to make sure everyone that comes over to your house does the rules. But even then, the dogs are just so excited when new people come over. Yeah. They're going to try and play with them and rough house. But when you're home by yourself, that
take them outside to rough house.
Work.
Yeah. We were just having this conversation.
That way you literally taught them a practiced behavior that inside the home is just calm and relaxed. We watch TV, we lay and
But
watch,
if you do that rule,
read a book.
It doesn't matter how hot it is. You need to go play with your dog outside. You can't just go, it's 120. We're not going to play for a week.
Because they're not going to want to play hard anyway. You just got to get up earlier, go out later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be a shorter walk because of the humidity in the summertime or the heat.
Yeah. The dogs don't want to be there.
Shorter exercise spurts.
Yeah. You can still walk and play with your dog when it's hot out. Just do smaller intervals of training.
Right.
The good part is it's going to wear them out faster because it's hot.
Yeah.
And all this food stuff we were talking about, that wears them out too.
Right.
And that's...
I would say obedience training is probably your best long-term solution.
You got to have obedience. You got to have a foundation of something to work from. And if a dog has no foundation of obedience, it's like throwing a dart at a dartboard and you're not even facing the dartboard.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything's going to work because I don't even have a foundation to start from.
Because even if you've got the laziest English bulldog on the planet,
they still want to do
still wants to do things.
Yeah.
They might only be active for about an hour a day, but that hour they want to do
most English bulldogs are pretty athletic.
Yes.
They just don't have a lot of stamina because they don't breathe well.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, there's very few real lazy dogs. Breeds. But even those, they like to play.
I would say even then
that
is case by case.
It is
individual dogs with super low drive that are lazy.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of them, but even then it's case by case. There's not a specific breed that is just all lazy.
Because even Malinois, there's high drive, medium drive, low drive.
Yeah. English labs.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me they knew one that was actually a hunting dog. I'm like, that's amazing.
Right. Yeah. So every breed, there is an exception to every norm that you've ever heard.
Yeah. So what about if you're not home?
So if you're not home
and you have your dogs eating your curtains, your door handles.
A lot of the same things. First, you got to have a foundation in obedience, or they don't know structure, and the obedience needs to focus on impulse control. Because if a dog cannot control their impulses, they're not going to even attempt to control them because they don't know how when you're gone.
Yeah.
And then every toy we just mentioned, if your dog is not going to destroy it and chew it and swallow it. Yeah. There's some of these toys that could be left with them, especially the Topple by Westpaw.
I would say the best way is to not set your dog up for failure.
Yeah.
You need to train them. You need to work them before you leave.
Yep.
So they're nice and tired.
You need to leave. And it's not that you're trying to make them tired.
No.
because after they take a nap, they're no longer tired. So you don't want your dog to be exhausted. You want your dog to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Big difference. Exhausted, power nap, they're back at it again. Fulfilled, they literally are in a state of mind that is fulfilled. That's where play really becomes important for you to work with your dog to help them chase, stalk, tug, play. You're trying to recreate a lot of the aspects of hunting.
Yeah, it needs to be structured play, though.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because a pit bull will
and we have an episode on structured and intentional play.
Yes.
You should definitely listen to that. There's no way we can talk about it in 2 minutes.
You just got to make sure there's rules, and you can make it harder, because my dog will play fetch for hours. George, when he was younger, would play fetch till your arms fell off.
Yes.
Or he died. He didn't care. He would just go forever.
Now that he's over 10, he does it 2 times, takes his ball and goes.
Yeah. I got it. I'm going to go lay down and have my ball in my
mouth. But if you're going to crate your dog, your crate should be in a dark room by itself. A white noise fan is great for that.
Yeah, white noise.
Because some people put the crates in the wrong area. They put it in
by a window or something.
Oh, they put it in the middle of the dining room. The dog, it needs to be like a cave.
A cave.
Yeah.
Like a den, basically.
A den, yeah.
You recreated a dog den, basically.
And that's for any time you have your dog in a crate.
And white noise, background noise is very helpful.
Even if you have a ceiling fan, works fine too. But
just you could have a white noise machine that some people sleep with. Just have that going for a little background noise. And fulfill. Play with your dog. When you're doing play correctly with intentional play, and again, if you have not listened to our episode on intentional play, you definitely need to.
Yeah, it's very important to dog training.
That kind of play, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not a 15, 30, 45-minute session. It's a good, quick 5-minute with intent on what you're trying to achieve with your dog. Now you set them up to be fulfilled for a longer or long period of time.
But when you do stuff like intentional play or whatever, or putting a licky thing down, you need to not do it every time right before you leave. So then they decide, play sucks, because right when we do play, I know they're leaving.
You're leaving.
Oh, right when I get this licky mat, they're leaving me. So you need to,
especially if you have if people have any problems with separation anxiety or destructive behavior when you leave.
Yeah.
Every single thing that you do before you leave, you need to do when you're at home over and over and over. So you have eliminated any meaning to all those pre-departure cues, like grabbing your keys, putting on your shoes, putting on makeup, dressing a certain way, going to a closet to always get X. Well, now go to the closet, get your coat, and go make dinner.
Yeah.
And do it so many times that it has no meaning. You could do the same thing. Some people comment, gosh, I like to walk my dog, but for the first moment or two, they're just crazy. Well, go grab the leash, drape it around your body, and go sit down and watch TV. Go grab the leash, throw it on the couch and watch TV. Go grab the leash and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Desensitize any meaning to when you grab the leash.
Yeah.
That way.
Well, you could do the same thing with toys. Every time they get the snuffle mat out, I'm going to bed. Or
I'm going to a crate.
The worst one, in my opinion, it becomes super dependent, is the thunder vests, the thunder jacket things, the compression jackets. Oh, it's on me, we're going to bed. Or there's a lightning storm. It's associated with something negative in their brain.
Because you only put it on when those bad times are about to happen. Fireworks.
It's just like a very reactive dog, only putting the training tools on when you're going to go train around reactive dogs. They will not like
they know, okay, we're about to see some dogs.
Yeah, it's a bad association. You got to use it all the time.
Yeah.
Good point. All right. Any other final tidbits before we wrap up?
I would definitely say make sure whatever you're doing, you can do long term.
Yes.
Because I know my Husky Pit would love to run with me. I do not love running.
Right.
I do not want to make an athlete I can't continuously do the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Right.
So just make sure what you're doing before you commit to doing it, you want to do long term. Like if you're going to do a marathon and you train your dog with you to do the marathon and you realize you hate running, you're never going to do a marathon again. You have a dog trained to do marathons now that you got to slowly either wean them off of that or not do that in general.
Yeah.
You got to pick what you want to do.
Another thing, if you decide to get a dog puppy and you are a work from home person, try to at least every day leave your house.
Gosh, yes.
Oh,
Keep
God.
your,
Oh, my God, yes.
So the dog is not codependent because dogs are pack animals. They're like, okay, my mom's here. So when you leave, you make it harder on the dog, which makes it harder on you, can make it harder on your
So if you do work from home, you need to leave your home
house. Even if it's just
intermittently throughout the day, so they do not become codependent upon your presence.
It doesn't have to be hours at a time.
No.
Just go down.
Go check the mail without your dog.
Yeah, do stuff without the dog.
Run to the store without your dog.
Sit in your car, play YouTube.
And if they're having a meltdown, you need to not come back to their dad. Right. Like, calm down. Same thing if you have more than one dog. You need to go independent stuff with each individual dog.
Yeah. So they don't get codependent.
They'll cause codependency on each other.
Because we have dogs in training right now. They're not siblings, but they act like they're siblings. They hate each other a lot, but then they can't be away from each other.
Right.
Yeah. Love-hate relationship.
It is a very bad mental state.
It's like a very bad relationship.
Yeah,
it's bad.
All right. Well, if our discussion connected with you, I want to invite you to reach out to us. You can go to our website, k-9culture.com, or you can connect with us through social media, Instagram and Facebook. K9 Culture Dog Training DFW are our handles on that. Also follow us for more dog training info and tips, or just happy videos once in a while. If you're needing help with your dog, we'd love to work with you and your pup on your journey together so you can have a dog that is a joy to live with. And until next week, from all of us here at Canine Culture Dog Training, go have fun with your dog.